Okay, so I'm pregnant and I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of our story and stuff because it's all very exciting. So all year let me start over. So I used to think I actually just wanted to wait until I was 30 to even start trying to have kids and just like be me and Carter for a little bit. And then I just actually, it was a year ago, whenever our friends, they were pregnant and they like just had their baby a year ago. And I don't know, I was like, I'm really impulsive sometimes, even though I'm very planned out other times. And I was like, okay, you know what? Like I had this whole plan, like we were gonna get a bigger house before we even tried to start having kids and all this stuff. But I actually, before I'd even met their baby, I was like, we can do whatever, who cares? Like, I just want to have a baby. But it was actually like probably right around Christmas time, and I was like, let's just have a baby. And he was like, calm down, like you've been saying for a few years now that you wanted to wait. So, you know, he was like, we need to get a few things in order before we just like get pregnant. And I was like, okay, whatever. So actually at the beginning of this year, we kind of decided that the perfect time to get pregnant would be October 1st because I had this great plan that I really wanted to be my most pregnant and like biggest stomach in the summertime. I love the pool. I love like swimming and just being in the sun and everything, and I just thought that would be an incredible time to be in my third trimester, just to be able to like be in the sun in a teeny tiny bikini with my belly out, and just like walking and swimming and all the things. So we figured out that like the earliest we would want to try is October. We did the math. And then we also wanted to give our baby a fighting chance. We are both winter birthdays. Mine's in November and his is February. And growing up, we were always like, yeah, like didn't you always want to have a pool party for your birthday? And like we never got to have like fun summer birthdays. So we were like, this will be a fun thing. So yeah, that's kind of like those two ideas were where our time frame came from. And then this summer, going to the pool with our friends with their baby and everything, we were kind of like, do we just go ahead and start trying? So actually starting in, I don't know, July or August, we did start trying, but we weren't being very calculated about it. It was kind of just more willy-nilly. The first time we had actually had, I'm gonna be in graphic detail here because I think it's important. So 3 days before I started my period we were like having sex and he came in me, and that was actually the first time in our entire lives he's ever done that. We're very careful about not getting pregnant, and it's actually not that hard if you're trying to not get pregnant. You just don't get cummed in or come in a girl. Whether she's on birth control or even if you're wearing a condom, just don't risk it if you don't want a baby. That strategy worked very well for us, the pull-out method. So it was 3 days before, and also at that point I was like, we could just be the most fertile human beings ever and just get pregnant 3 days before my period. You guys are gonna be shocked to find out that I actually did not get pregnant that time, which is totally exactly how that would go down. And then kind of we'd like tried, I have the period tracker app on my phone. It's called Eve, and I just type in my cycle, like when I start my period, when I'm off my period, and that's all I've done for years. And we had kind of like been actively trying during that fertile window, but pretty quickly it was like really fucking boring having to have sex on certain days. So on those days where we felt forced, we just didn't have sex. And we were like, it's gonna happen whenever it's supposed to happen. And then there were a few months where I've been dealing with really bad yeast infections lately, and I actually have an OBGYN appointment that I had to schedule like months in advance to even be seen about this. So I was actually in like a lot of pain and discomfort for a few months during those fertile windows. And when I actually wrote October 1 to get pregnant, I wasn't good. That wasn't actually going to be the fertile window that far out in advance, like 10 months in advance. So the fact that my period had been off and on a few days here and there throughout the year, and actually I got pregnant on October 1 is amazing. I never really like gave much thought into manifesting and manifestation and stuff, and I recently my mother-in-law has been like, you're really good at summoning things, and I love to like say I'm like manifesting this and manifesting that, but I do think there is a little bit of power behind it. I had so specifically seen this scenario happening that I wrote it 10 months beforehand in my calendar, said October 1, get nutted in and get pregnant. So I'm already being like, not just get pregnant, like I'm just already being very intentional. I had thought out how I wanted to be my biggest pregnant self, like in the summertime, and that we wanted the baby to have a summer birthday and all this stuff. And I understand that if you have like infertility issues and things like that, like it's not always that easy and that in control of things, but I think having that specific vision really did help us. But again, we're both very healthy and we both come from really fertile people. I'm the oldest of 7, and his parents got pregnant very young with him, but that setting that intention I think did help, and it was just something to look forward to. And I haven't really heard of people planning it out quite like that, so that was also interesting. And I'm very open about talking about everything in my life, and we started telling people that, you know, we're gonna like get pregnant in October. We didn't really say a whole lot of we're gonna start trying to get pregnant in October. No, we were gonna get pregnant in October. That's what we told people. And so nobody was really shocked whenever we got to give this big reveal that we were in fact pregnant. And I had the cutest like pregnancy reveal idea. I was gonna go get this really cute cake, and I saw there's this thing called Betchin cakes. If you look on their Instagram or anything, if you look on their Instagram, they do like cakes with like Barbies and stuff. I've actually made one for mine and my friend's birthdays years ago. And so like I'd had that planned all year long, how I was gonna have this cake and the Barbies, and I got macaroons that said "Oh baby" on them, and everyone was gonna walk in and see this table full of cakes and Barbies and babies and all this stuff, and it was going to be, that's how I was gonna tell everybody. Something to know about me is I am the most impatient human being. I cannot keep a secret. If I like, and if it's someone's birthday or Christmas, if I do not do literally last minute shopping intentionally, if I do not shop last minute, I immediately give the gift to that person because I'm like so excited about it. So actually the day that we took the test, it was very early. It was a week and a half we took the test for me to like pee in a cup and then pee on the stick, or pee on the cup and then dip the stick in the pee instead of peeing directly on the stick. I had my sister Grace was like, anytime you pee on a stick, I have to be involved no matter what. So, and my other sister and our friends. So not every single person in my life was involved, but quite a few people were involved in this. So it was 1.5 weeks after like my fertile window, and again, I'm impatient, and logically I was gonna wait until at least one day after a missed period to even attempt to get pee on a stick. But my friend was like, did you take one this morning? And I was like, no. And a little backstory, we had been kind of like half-assed trying over the summer. She was very like go pee on a stick, go pee on a stick. And she's like my pregnancy stick dealer and my ovulation stick dealer. She had me pee on sticks at her house. Like, it was so fun. But so in the summer, whenever we were not pregnant, we had kind of seen a faint line. Okay, so it was a non-existent line basically, but we were like drawing, like we took a picture of it and we would like draw lines like where it should be, and we were like, there's totally a line, and there wasn't. So this day, I was like, no, I haven't taken a test, I'm just gonna wait. And she was like, just take one. And so it's in the middle of the day at this point. So if you're gonna pee on the stick, you should wait until, you should do your morning pee, because that's whenever the HCG levels are gonna be the strongest, like most concentrated in your pee to be able to get a line on a stick. And so I had actually, it's in the middle of the day and I'm a hydration queen, so I've been drinking stuff. And so I was like, okay, well, like, let me see how many hours I should wait until, like, to stop drinking water, stop drinking anything, so I can figure out whenever, like, I can pee on the stick this evening. And it was 4 hours, so I think it was 4 hours. It was 4 to 6 hours, so I went and peed on a stick. I have all of that, I vlogged everything. And we set the timer and I walked away and I was like, Carter, because me and Carter are best friends and very much a team, and I think it's really cute whenever like the wife will surprise their partner with the results of the pregnancy test, but we are very much like, we are looking at the stick together, like, you're gonna sit here with me while I'm in like peeing. And so we set the timer, pulled the camera out to pull the camera out to see if we had a line or not, and like to get our reactions and stuff. And so we walk into the bathroom where the stick is, and there is a faint line. He was like, that's not a faint line, like, that's a line. And I was like, I'd already gotten my hopes up before where like there was actually like no line from like the summer, and I was like, that's a faint line, like, I don't know. So I took a picture and I sent it to my friend and I was like, what do you think of this? And she was like, oh, that's a line, like, you're pregnant. And so then she was like, I'm bringing over more she was like, I've got the baby in the car, we're on our way to Trader Joe's, I'm turning around, I'm going to get more pregnancy tests, and then we're coming to your house. And she brings her husband and her baby, and I called both of my sisters and I was like, everyone come to my house right now. And literally, like, we're all in the kitchen with she was like, I kept doing this thing where after I would take this the pregnancy test in the cup of pee, I would dump the pee back, and she was like, Hope, you better squeeze out more pee right now into that cup. And so like I got like a little bit more pee out of me because it was concentrated because I hadn't been drinking any water. And she brings over pregnancy tests, and there's like a line and another line, and everyone's like in the kitchen around my little cup of pee, just like staring. It was all so intimate. And there's lines on like all of them, but they're faint, but also it's very early. And so I was like, I mean, that would be so cool if I'm pregnant, but like, I don't know. And like, you can see like everyone, like my sister especially, is like getting frustrated at me. She's like, you should be like getting happy right now, like, you're annoying. And I was like, I don't know, like, I just don't believe it. So the next day I was like, I'm just gonna get a blood test done at the doctor so that they can confirm it or not. And so I just go get my blood taken, and it's like a minimum of 4 hour like result period. So I was like, okay, so this was like a really very long 4 hours of my life. And we just we went to like a fall fair with Carter's parents and grandparents, and that was like a good distraction. But also I'm like on my phone, like refreshing the screen and my email and the My Chart like every 5 seconds. Well, I could think about, rightfully so. And so we were like in the gymnasium part of the school, and I get a notification that there's a result for my blood test on My Chart, and it would not pop up. We didn't have any signal in the gym. So I looked at Carter and I was like, we gotta go outside really fast. So we go outside, open this thing, and it's like a bunch of numbers and stuff. And I was like, why can't doctors just be like, yes, you're pregnant, no, you're not pregnant, like. So I screenshotted it, sent it to my friend. Carter's Googling what these results mean. And then my friend's like, that means you're pregnant. And so then we were like, oh my God, like we actually are pregnant. This is real. So we didn't actually get that reaction on video, and we didn't get any of my family's reactions on video because it was just too exciting to like hold in. So I called Grace and Joy, both of my sisters, and I was like, I'm pregnant. I gotta go, I've gotta tell everybody else. And then I called my other sister, I'm pregnant. Okay, gotta go, tell everybody else. And then we walked back into the gym, and I like, Carter's mom and dad are like looking at like these raffle baskets, and I was trying to get them both to look at me. And Carter's mom was looking at me, and I was like, come on, Pat, like look at me. And he didn't, so I just said, I'm pregnant. And then Carter's dad like looks up and he's like, really? And yeah, so I told them, and then his grandparents were in the gym too. So we waited until they were done talking with their friends, and they walked over to us, and I just blurted out, no context, I'm pregnant. And so we're all just like hugging and crying, and it was just like so magical. And then I'm like calling my siblings, because there's a bunch of us. I have a really big family. So I'm calling everybody, or like my sister's getting, like everyone needs to get to mom and dad's house now. And so one of my brothers is actually a few hours away at college, and my brother-in-law is in a different state in the Coast Guard. So we had to FaceTime them like right after we told everyone in person. But we get to my parents' house, and my brother and sister-in-law get there, which Grace had called them and was like, you need to get to their house right now, or go to mom and dad's house right now. And they were like, why? And she was like, you know. And they were like, so pregnant? And she was like, yes. So I didn't want to be like too excited when we got there. I was just like I walked in like really casual, and we were like, I was like, oh hi, like how's it going? And I just waited until like everyone got into the living room without me being like, hey, can everyone come into the living room? Once everyone like kind of teetered in there, I'm pregnant. I just blurted it. And my mom like, you know, was like screaming and crying and squealing. And she was like, I knew it. As soon as your dad walked in and said that you guys were here, she was like, I knew it. And then I saw your face and you were glowing. Yeah, that was really fun. And then I was so excited. We called like all of our closest family and friends and just gave them the good news. We were either calling or FaceTiming. And our cousin, who just had a baby a year ago too, was like, he answered my phone call. He's like, I just want you to know, I already know what you're gonna say. And I was like, I'm pregnant. He was like, I knew it. But yeah, so then I ended up doing my like little cake situation with just like a little baby celebration, like we just had cake, we had a bonfire, I had all the Barbies out. It was really fun. And I did just want to touch on the fact that we only started using ovulation strips in October. We actually started September 31st. My friend had given me ovulation strips. I didn't really think it was necessary. And there were 3 days that I was my most fertile. And then, so September 1, there was a faded line on the ovulation. And then October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd were very dark ovulation lines on the ovulation stick. And then the 4th day, it was starting to fade again. So that's the only thing we did differently, is the fact that we knew for certain that we were ovulating. And after each time, I would like lay on the couch or lay on the bed and put my legs over my head and like marinate for a few minutes. I don't know if that really does anything. I know the doctors say like that doesn't have any effect, but I mean, it's not worth a try to do like a handstand after. I actually, one time I was like, Carter, do you think we can fuck in a handstand? And he's like, are you nuts? Like, yeah, we cannot. So that was an adventure, and I'm just so happy that I'm pregnant. And then I'm doing the clinical sneak peek test at this place called Baby Belly Spa Baby Belly Spa in Lexington. And so I'll be getting the results this coming week. I'll get my blood drawn and all that. I decided not to do the at-home one. There were too many variables and like that. I was gonna still wonder whether it was right or not if I did it at home. So I'm doing it at like a sanitized place where they're actually doing a proper blood draw. And yeah, so I'm gonna find out literally at 6 weeks whether we're having a boy or a girl. All right, bye dolls.